singer G-Dragon shared his philosophy and sincerity as an artist. On the November 5 episode of MBC's Sun Sok-hee's Questions 3, G-Dragon appeared as a guest. He had recently been appointed as the official APEC promotional ambassador and received the Kwon Cultural Order at the Korean Popular Culture and Arts Awards, solidifying his position as an artist representing Korea. After a long silence, he reunited with Sun Sok-hee after 10 years and shared his philosophy and sincerity as an artist, as well as a deep story about his new beginning as Kwon JiYong returning to reality after The Truman Show. On that day, G-Dragon appeared in an elegant fashionista style from the start, attracting everyone's attention. He combined a beige jacket with black accents, a blue shirt, and a daisy-shaped hat and brooch as his signature items, creating a unique and sophisticated style. After that, G-Dragon calmly shared his direction as an artist and his inner changes after a year of comeback following a long hiatus. He said, 10 years ago, every moment of my life was a time when I was active as G-Dragon, so I always wanted to do my best and pursue perfection by deliberately forcing myself to keep running. He added, during my break, I felt I could separate my work and personal life. Now, I have more free time and every day feels precious. G-Dragon then revealed that the advice he received from Sun Sok-hee 10 years ago, don't lose your instincts, has remained in his memory for years. He then shared his thoughts on the dilemma of music, which amazed listeners. He said, there is the verb, to do. Not doing, not being able to do, doing well. In the end, doing is the same, so you have to choose well. If you are going to do it, you want to do it well, but you always think about how often the public's assessment of the choice and the result is appropriate. Now, I feel like I'm getting closer to the right answer. On the other hand, G-Dragon also shared the story he wanted to convey through his third studio album, Übermensch. He explained, Übermensch is one of the words that motivated me to persevere during my hiatus. When various situations and environments changed, I thought that remembering this word would help, so I wanted to introduce it to you. He also touched on the alleged drug use case. A year before releasing the album, I was involved in an incident. At that time, he underwent a police investigation, but after detailed test results came back negative, he was released without charges. The situation became uncontrollable, and since I was on hiatus, I didn't know how to get through those 2 to 3 months. I didn't want a demo or press conference to state my position. It was painful to endure the suffering. I also thought, should I make a comeback? It would be better to retire and live as an ordinary person, but I don't think there's a reason for that. I should be grateful that everything is over, but is it really over, or am I forcing myself to move on? I thought about that for several months. He added, the only thing I can do is music. Since the album preparation period coincided, I wrote based on my experiences, and when choosing the first song, I felt I had found its master. I hope cases like this don't happen again. I want to use the power of music that I have to criticize the media. Among the various messages about power, this is the main point. He explained, this song is shorter than imagined. Just 2 minutes and 30 seconds. I don't know how many days it took for each line, but I tried to condense the message as much as possible while incorporating the backbone and various elements into it. Notably, he drew attention by comparing his life to the film, The Truman Show. He said, in a very sensitive time, unreasonable things kept happening, as if I were in The Truman Show, and continued his story about how he became tougher after leaving The Truman Show and returning to reality, which sparked empathy. At the same time, he also revealed his philosophy and beliefs about music. As he said in his welcome performance at the previous 2025 APEC Summit, I believe music has the power to unite us all beyond national and language barriers, adding, I don't think music needs to be separated by generation. Because there are no longer barriers to accepting differences, even different languages can unite. Not only that, G-Dragon also talked about the moment when his dream began to grow and his plans for the future. He said, when I was little, I didn't really understand, but the desire to show more to others made me practice, and while learning, it became my dream. Over the past 10 years, what was lost was just time, but in exchange, I learned how to handle things that I might have done emotionally in the past with more wisdom and patience. He then revealed his plans after his activities. I think a comma break is necessary. After the break, I plan to prepare for a new beginning. He also mentioned BigBang, which will celebrate its 20th anniversary next year. Since we will be celebrating 20 years, I'm starting to think about the next 30 years. Most importantly, in this broadcast, G-Dragon maintained his characteristic humor and insight despite the relaxed and comfortable atmosphere. His honest conversation shows the figure of an artist who has returned to reality after completing the Truman Show, and the human Kwon JiYong who continues to grow, making us look forward to the next 10 years. On the other hand, G-Dragon is continuing the final leg of his world tour, G-Dragon 2025 World Tour, Übermensch, which began with concerts in Korea last March. Following the concerts in Hanoi on the 8th and 9th, he will hold a 3-day encore concert at Gocheok Sky Dome in Seoul from December 12 to 14 to conclude his world tour.